I'm an assistant professor at Howard University as well as a licensed nutritionist. I want to ask you a question. How many of you are vegans?
Well, I think
Don't eat meat. How many of you are vegetarians? Okay, good. All right, just wanted to know so I can know where to start. All right, today we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to have like an introduction into the importance of eating vegetables. And you're going to sample a couple of things. One will be a broom salad, for which you have the recipe. It's a wonderful raw salad, and it helps. And I call it a broom salad because it cleans out your colon and helps keep you regular. And the other are fruit smoothies with all kinds of added ingredients, which are great for children. They're great for an in-between snack if you're hungry and you don't want a meal. You can make yourself a smoothie, add some very good nutrients to it, and it'll carry you through your day. God created this earth, or the creator, however way you want to talk about that entity that created this earth, created everything that we needed to survive and thrive. He didn't create Popeyes or McDonald's or Burger King or the carry-out or the Chinese place. You know, he created, or he, she, the entity created plants. He created vegetables and fruits and grains for us to consume. And he created everything in those vegetables, grains, and fruits to nourish our body, to protect us from diseases, to grow our bodies, for infants to grow into children, for children to grow into teens, into adults, and beyond. So everything we need is in our natural environment. So if we could kind of go back to the beginning, go back to our roots, go back to how we were meant to move through this earth, we would be a lot healthier. Because a lot of the majority of the diseases that we get, unless they're, like sickle cell that may be hereditary, are actually as a result of what we put in our mouth. And if we don't have control over a lot of things in this world, but we do have control over what we eat. And if we are informed about what to eat that's best for us, we can at least, information is power, and so once you know, you can make intelligent choices, or not intelligent choices, but at least you can't say, well, I didn't know. So today, hopefully you'll know some more things. You have a handout here that talks about, and you'll get one later on that has a lot more detail, but it talks about how to incorporate more fruits and vegetables in your diet. And also, I don't know if this talks about, look to a rainbow, number 2, because different fruits and vegetables have different properties that help us to grow, maintain, and also to prevent diseases depending upon the color. Like tomatoes have lycopene, which helps to prevent prostate cancer. So there are all sorts of, depending upon the color of the fruit and vegetable, what antioxidants or which are components that help us to become healthy. I don't want to get all into the technical part of what an antioxidant is, but okay, it's like if you leave oil out, you leave the top off for a few days, the oil gets rancid. And it tastes funny, and that's because oxygen in the air mixes with the oil, and it has a chemical reaction, and it causes it to oxidize, and then that is when it becomes rancid and becomes more toxic. Same thing with our cells. They, because of the air that we breathe, and sometimes if it's not, good air, now this air out here it's got a whole lot of other kind of not so happy things in it. And also some of the foods that we eat, like if we barbecue, grill stuff, charred, if you do a lot of grilling outside with the charcoal, that adds constituents to the food that causes your cells to oxidize. If you eat deli meats that have components in it called nitrates and nitrites, those can also cause your cells to oxidize. So you've got all these things that cause our cells to not function healthy. But an antioxidant is again components in fruits and vegetables that can help prevent that from happening inside our body. So, any questions?
You were saying
Mm-hmm.
the corn, because back in my country we cook with the coal, like corn pop, we burn the wood and
Right.
so what you say
Is there some constituents in the charcoal that comes up that can be toxic to the body? They can be cancer causing. Wood, I can't say for sure about wood. I guess it depends on the type of wood.
Yeah, because we burn the wood to make the chocolate, the coal. We call it the coal, you know, the chocolate,
Okay.
but we burn the tree and put it in the wood so you can get.
Well,
We call the coal pot.
right. Well, that's something that could be researched. Because again, it depends on what kind of wood that you're using. And also, it's really important if you decide to grill, to clean that grill good. Don't put the meat down and you think, oh, well, the flame has been on there. It's no toxins, but
Black stuff get on something.
yeah, the black stuff gets on that, and then people think, oh, that makes those
And
grill
that's
lines.
going in your body too.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything that we eat goes in our body and our body tries to incorporate it or break it down. So if I was to shred up this paper and chew it, my body would try to pull out something out of here to use.
The ink.
The ink, all of that, really, seriously. So that's why they say you are what you eat, you are. So if you're eating a lot of foods that are not supporting your health, then you're going to have some issues. And like for those that eat meat, the way food is processed, the way animals are slaughtered, the way animals are fed, it's like, remember mad cow disease when they talked about that? That was because they were, and they may still be doing this in some places, were feeding cows with cut up chicken parts and other byproducts of the slaughterhouse. That they processed this into pellets. And they were feeding it to them. Now, cows that's not part of their natural diet. So their body was having some serious issues with it and reactions to it. It's like farm-raised fish. They feed them those same kinds of pellets. Because you think a farm-raised fish is in a tank. It's in a fish tank.
Right.
And so they're not feeding off their natural habitat as if they were in the wild. So consequently, they are fed these pellets.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying all fish farms, but some do. And so they're eating consuming things that are not natural to their little fishy bodies, and it's causing some issues with the fish. And then it causes issues with us because we're eating the fish. So really, and the way they do chicken, if you think about all the chicken places, just in D.C., all of the places that serve chicken, from the Chinese place to Popeyes to all the fast food places, plus sold in Safeway and Giant and Murray's and all these other places, plus all the other restaurants that sell chicken, Fridays, Tuesdays, all these places. So there's a huge, and that's just here. Just think about all of the restaurants and places in the country. I mean, millions of chickens are consumed every day. Now, how do you think these chickens are raised? Because chickens have a mature, like children and cows and calves, they have a regular maturity rate where they grow. It takes a certain amount of time for them to mature. Well, these chickens, you might be eating very, very immature chickens because of the growth hormones that they give these chickens. So all they do is eat all day. They keep them on these perches and they feed them all day. Well, when they're feeding and then they're defecating, they in one spot they have to have antibiotics to keep down the diseases and hormones, growth hormones to accelerate their growth. So all of this stuff is happening with this chicken, all these chemicals and all this unnatural growth. And so when we consume chickens, we're consuming everything that's in that chicken. The antibiotic that's in the chicken, the hormone that's in that chicken, all of that is going into our body. That's why in the last 20 years, you're seeing girls 8 and 10 years old coming on their period because of these growth hormones. You're seeing males with breasts because of these growth hormones that are in the chicken and probably some other hormonal stuff in the beef. So I mean, these are things that we don't think about because, chicken, fried chicken, and you're grabbing it up. But you're not thinking about what's in it.
Right.
So it's important for us to be informed because so many of us, I know that everyone here knows at least 3 people who either have diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, or are overweight.
Right.
I mean, it's just the obesity epidemic is just growing, and especially among children. So how do we deal with this? How do we become healthy? Again, is what we put in our mouth.
Right.
So a plant-based diet, there's been a lot of research that a plant-based diet is the healthiest diet. Hard because we've been programmed to eat meat, but back then, the times have changed. The quality of the meat is changed. The quality of the fish. The quality of the air, the quality of everything has changed and become compromised. So the best thing that we can do, in my view, for ourselves and our health, if we had an ideal situation, is grow our own food, number one, and cook for ourselves. Because if you cook it, you know what's in it. If you don't cook it, you don't know what's in it. And so that's the ideal. Can't do the ideal. And you got to have some meat, or you got to make vegetables the focus of your meal. Vegetables and grains instead of meat the focus. Because we've been programmed, what am I going to fix? The first thing you think about is, I'm going to have some chicken, I'm going to have some beef. Yeah, what meat? And then you figure out splashing some stuff around it. So now if you can change your thinking to, what vegetables and what grains I'm going to cook. And then what protein I'm going to put with it. Right. Beans are a great source of proteins. There's so many different kinds of beans that we can eat. And how many here like to cook?
When I can.
Okay. So if you like to cook, that's the big step. So if you like to cook, you like to try new things, try spices, and what have you. Beans are great. I mean, there's so many different varieties of beans that you can try, and depending on the spices, you can make them taste like a lot of different things. I can work it out, and Natai will also samples of this broom salad, which is all I did was grate beets and zucchini and red cabbage and carrots.
You grated all of this together?
And I have to taste it without dressing, and then I'm going to bring you a dressing to taste it with.
With the dressing?
No nuts. No nuts. Oh, I forgot to ask it to you.
Thank you. So you said this is beets and carrots?
Beets, carrots, red cabbage, and zucchini. Okay, so I take bananas when they have the spots on them. I take the peeling off. I cut them in quarters, and I freeze them, and I drop them in my smoothie. Or while they're still, before they freeze, if you want to take a popsicle stick and stick it in here, and then freeze it on some wax paper individually, then children can have frozen bananas. If you want to roll it into some into some peanuts or walnuts that you've chopped up, but before you freeze it, put a little honey on there, and then roll it in some nuts, put it in the freezer. They have a nice snack as opposed to ice cream and other kinds of things.
Right.
Also grapes, if you get grapes on sale. Grapes are great. Wash them, take them individually, freeze them, put them in a bag. The children love them. They're so refreshing in the summer. And you can put them in a glass or drink some juice and it'll look real festive. So, a couple of things that I'm going to put in the smoothies. And we're going to make two kinds, one with fruit and one with coconut milk. Are you guys familiar with coconut milk? You ever use it? Okay. All right.
Let me see.
There are a few things I like to put in smoothies to kind of boost their nutritional value. One is protein. There are all sorts of plant-based protein. This protein is hemp. It's hemp protein. You know, the hemp seed, marijuana plant is called hemp, but there are hemp plants that don't have the THC, which is a chemical that gets you high. It's just hemp, and they make clothing out of it, and they also make protein powder and
I didn't know
other
that,
great
but I
stuff.
found that out recently too. 'Cause I was wondering, I didn't know that. I was like, what in the world?
Don't be that.
I mean, I was like, hemp? What in the world? Hemp 14? What the heck is all that about? But it's the stuff that don't get you high. It's all of that.
Yeah, it's
I
a
was like,
different
what in the
thing.
world is all that about? I had to find out about that one.
This is chia seeds. How many of you have heard of chia seeds? They're the chia pets.
Like the chia
Remember
pet?
the chia pets? They put
Yeah.
the chia seeds and put water and it comes out. Okay.
That's what that is?
These are the seeds that go in the pet. But the seeds are really healthy for you. They have they're high in fiber, and they also have a good amount of calcium in it too. So it's pretty high in calcium, high in fiber, and also extremely high in fiber. Also per tablespoon, it's a couple of grams of protein and 17% of your daily requirement of fiber. That's a lot. And and they also have what's called omega-3 fatty acids, as well as what flaxseed has in it. And there are certain kinds of nutrients that are essential to the body that you can't get outside of food. You have to get it through food. And they're fatty acids. There's certain fats that the body needs that sometimes that have to be from food. That the body is not able
Like the flaxseed right there?
Right, so
I take that.
yeah,
That
so
takes
it's
the-
in flaxseed,
High blood pressure.
and it also
Yeah, I take
helps
that.
to work against guarding against and reducing
This
heart
is the
disease
powder
risk.
kind?
So this is the
That's what you
meal.
put in-
There
you
are
can put it in
flax
your-
seeds.
Yeah, I'm not
You
taking
can get the seeds,
Seed.
grind it up,
Mhm.
and put it in, or just put the seeds in the smoothies. Or I bought the flaxseed meal that's
Yeah.
already ground. But the thing about the meal is, once you grind up the flaxseed, it's very oily. And again, I talked about oxygen and oil and it getting rancid. So you really have to keep the lid on this closed and keep it in the refrigerator to keep it from spoiling. If you use the seeds, you don't have to be that.
I just have a quick question. If you put any of these in a smoothie, I think, is it chia seeds or flax seeds that help speed up your metabolism or aid in like burning, I think, more calories or something like that?
I haven't heard that about chia seeds. I don't think about flax. I haven't heard about chia.
Just asking because I would put a lot.
It could. I don't know. I can't say for sure. And what was your question?
Yeah. The oil on is not.
Bring it out.
You can get flaxseed oil as well. And take it. It's just more expensive than, I think the meal might be a little cheaper in the oil. Yeah.
Yeah, because I use the oil actually when I got my pressure go high.
Well, the oil is fine, but this also adds fiber as well, so it's good. And so it's good for children as well. So, I'm going to make the first round. So, I have apple juice and I have orange mango. Which juice would you prefer?
Orange mango.
Everybody had apple. Orange mango.
Okay, all right, hold it. I have strawberries. No, what do I have? I have strawberries, blueberries, cherries, and mango. Is that and banana?
Yeah.
And anything in there that you don't want.
No, that's good. Oh, that's good.
Every vegetable, any kind of fruit in the house. Stop. You had a little inside joke about my fight with asparagus recently. I'm trying to do better. But I put kale and spinach and strawberries and banana, carrot juice, and then I put spirulina in my, which is an agent from the ocean. And pretty much from then on I build stuff. I use Emergency every day.
Emergency is it's 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C in a powder. You put it in water and it fizzes up.
Yeah.
Really?
Is it natural?
Yeah, it's not.
It's natural?
No, I mean,
Well,
I was
it's-
asking because I know there's vitamins that are also like synthetic.
Right.
Right.
I think, well,
The benefit of that
Some
is
of it,
that
yeah.
there's a benefit to it because it's aphorescent. So, for instance, for those of us who are vegetarians, by the time I take a vitamin and it sits, it will not dissolve before I work it on through.
Right.
So if I
doesn't? Oh, well, then you
Mine-
need to talk to me about that.
Yeah, mine-
It should go.
yeah,
your body
if
doesn't
I take
digest.
if I take a big one,
All right. Well, perhaps you ought to chew it.
well, so that's why I take the Emergency. That's why I take the Emergency.
When I said that.
Right.
I just want to
Yes.
interject that I'm going to add a sweetener to this called
Okay,
stevia. Have you heard of stevia? It's a
Stevia.
plant.
Yeah.
Back to the berries though. If you're going to get them, you should get them organic. If you can't wash them, I know you said wash it. Yeah, put a little soap in there and wash them and rinse them good because there are certain things that you should not get unless they're organic. Lettuce, spinach, kale, berries. Mangoes are okay because they have a good skin on them. Broccoli's not too bad. Your root vegetables like potatoes should probably be organic because of everything that filters into the soil from any pesticide sprays, any fertilizer that you use that is not natural can get right in there. And anything, see, a plant absorbs whatever nutrients are in the soil. So if you've got some toxic stuff in the soil, it's going to go right up in the plant. It's going to go right up in the fruit or vegetable. So again, berries and lettuces should be organic if possible.
What about bananas?
Bananas are pretty much, well, they're okay because they have a skin on them. And so they're not as bad as other things. So things like avocados that have a thick skin are not as bad as, but strawberries, all the real watery stuff and the root vegetables should be organic if possible. I know organic costs more, but now with the farmer's market, you have real, and if you're on WIC or SNAP or senior farmer's market coupons, our market will double your purchase. So if you purchase $5 with SNAP, you get an extra voucher for $5 additional in produce. It's the same with WIC. Whatever, if you use a $5 coupon, you get $5 additional extra dollars to use. So it's a good thing.
For cash.
No, you can't for cash, just for produce.
Cheers to thin waist and snakes.
I can ask.